Hey everyone, I'm just calling you up really quick. I'm down here in Garland and I'm in the Hobby Lobby parking lot. There's Mardell, which is a Christian bookstore, Hobby Lobby, and Big Lots. And I am going in Big Lots to buy a mop because I don't feel like going into Walmart and it's about the same price. But the reason why I'm down here in Garland is because um, somebody that I know suggested I come down here to a certain mechanic, and I know this mechanic, oh, probably, well, it was 5 years ago. Um, they did my brakes and did a really good job and gave me a good deal and kind of took some money off because of someone that I know that knows them that sent me. So the other day, the person suggested I come back down here and ask them to check over the issue that I've been having. See if it really is the water pump or is the thermostat stuck or just gone bad. And I know for sure that I need to replace the two belts. That is the noise that I'm hearing. Like I said before, it's not a high pitch, squealing, screeching sound. It's kind of like a tick and then like a dragging sound. And it's not coming from the wheel. It is those belts, like the other mechanic said. So I came down here to ask, to make an appointment. And the owner wasn't there, and so the receptionist took my concern and my name and number, and she's going to talk with him and see when, I think he only has one mechanic, and see when the mechanic is able to look at the car. Now, I told her tomorrow I have something to do, so I can't come down here tomorrow. So we'll see. That's the thing. This is it's kind of out of the way, but I think it's the best thing to do, get a second opinion. And then I'll just have to go from there. I mean, it has to get fixed. ASAP, God being my helper, because I don't want to be stranded. Let me tell you, today is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, day 5, with a migraine from the brainstem disease. I'm sure that this major flare-up, I'm also having a flare-up of the spinal cord disease, the syringomyelia. My back and spinal cord still is going into spasms. It's not constant like it was Friday and some of Saturday, but it does go into spasms. And I'm sure that this is a result of having to walk home from the garage Thursday morning. It was 3.9 miles from the garage to where I live. And thankfully, my pastor's son had come by. Well, I was just probably 3 minutes from my place, but he saved me a few steps, by coming by on that road and giving me a ride the rest of the way. But I have been suffering ever since. And like I said, today's day 5 of the migraine. My face is just all swelled from it. I made it to church yesterday, thank God, and made it to both services. I looked at my health chart to see when my next appointment is with my neurologist, and it's like towards the end of December. But I can call anytime. He's told me anytime I need to call to be seen. And last night, things were so painful right here at the brainstem and all over my head that I almost went to the ER. The reason why I didn't go is because when I have had to go to the ER for a constant migraine, they give me Fioricet, which, let me tell you, it does help, but it knocks me out. For at least a couple days, all I do is sleep. I do have the risotryptophan that my neurologist has had me on for the migraines, and you have to take it when you feel a migraine coming on, and you take it under your tongue, and it's horrible, but a lot of the time it does help, but it's not really been helping with this flare-up, and I'm really not sure what I'm going to do. But my whole head and neck hurts, and my face aches. Like I said, it's all swollen. When I was healthy and strong and lived back home, boy, did I walk all over. I loved to walk, and I'd walk all around in my city, and they still do have a huge downtown. It has to be about 2 miles around, and lots of hills, and I lived on hills, so I'd have to walk down hills and walk up hills, lugging groceries, lugging laundry. That was before I had a car, and I had legs of steel. My legs were so strong from all that walking, and I loved it, and I miss that. I just can't do that anymore. I mean, 3.9 miles really is not much, but it's too much for me with the condition I have. Anyway, this is not about my health. I was just calling you up to basically give you an update of the car. I'm not any further than I was last Thursday with the car, but thank God that it hasn't shut off on me yesterday or today. And last night after church, a couple of the guys came out and looked at the car, and one got underneath and with his flashlight, and there was nothing on the concrete, to show that the water pump is leaking. When they lifted the hood and they lifted the radiator, they took the radiator cap off and they took the reserve cap off. I think the reserve was kind of low. I think it was that. And so I have my jug of water, and they filled it for me. The thing is, right now we're having beautiful weather. Yesterday 83, today it's supposed to be in the 80s. So having water in there for now is okay, but we will get cold weather, and you can't have just water in your radiator when it gets freezing temps. You have to have the antifreeze. So whatever the problem is has to get checked and fixed before the real cold comes. I need to mop my place, and I need a mop, and that's why I'm going to go in Big Lots and get one, and I'm going to try to do some mopping today. I usually wash my bathroom floor on my hands and knees, because that's the only way to really get behind the toilet and get in corners. And what happens is I move out from there, and then I wash the kitchen floor on my hands and knees. And if I didn't have that big full-size bed that takes up half my little bedroom, I'd wash that on my hands and knees, but that I have to do with the mop. And I don't think I only live in 32 feet, but I won't get all that mop today with the way I'm feeling. But I did bring this because I knew I'd want to call you up, so I grabbed this and put it in the car to show you. I made a hat on Saturday just with scrap yarn, and I didn't follow a pattern. I made the simple beanie crown, and then this is all front post and back post. But this will go in my bag of hats that I'm making to donate to the food pantry. And I finished the shawl for my landlord's mother, so I'll do a video showing you that. What else? Oh, I still want to do a video showing you what I taught last Sunday in Sunday school to the kids. I still want to do that video to show you. And I think that's about it. Gonna plan to do a video Wednesday, my new series, Woohoo Wednesday. So be looking for that. I may have a funeral or a viewing to go to this week. Someone that I know passed away on Saturday. So unexpected. You know, a healthy, elderly man. And I had just seen him last week and talked with him, and I see him often. And then I got the phone call Saturday afternoon from his sister saying that he had been outside mowing, and where he lives, where his house is, there's a main road right at the edge of his lawn, and he was mowing, and someone had drove by and saw him laying out in the grass. So they stopped to check, and they called 911, and the ambulance came, and I think he died on the way to the hospital or at the hospital. And so I'm planning to go to whatever services they have. He was the nicest man. Oh, did he love God? He loved God. He loved people. He really had a burden for missionaries, and he supported several missionaries. And just a great guy, soft-spoken guy, but so friendly. I'd run into him at Aldi, and also I passed by his house a lot to get to my house. He just lives down the road, and he would be out often checking his mail or working in the yard, you know, and I'd beep and he'd wave, and just so faithful to God all these years. So it'll be, you know, whatever the family decides to have, it'll be a great homecoming, because to know that you've lived for God all these years and you've been faithful and you've supported the work of God and the people of God, you know, there's peace when you leave this world. There's peace for your family that's here. There's peace for your friends. So I haven't gotten the news yet of what days anything will be, but I plan to go. I know quite a few, oh, excuse me. I know quite a few people in his family. Yep. What else can I tell you? I am sure. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Where was I last week? Oh, I was in Kroger. And one thing I don't understand, I know nothing about it, the school systems here. I see kids where our Kroger is across the road is a high school. And I see kids walking back and forth from Kroger to the high school, no matter what time of the day I go to Kroger. If I go in the morning, there's kids coming out of Kroger with chips and soda, and they're walking over to the high school. If I go in the afternoon, same thing. It wasn't like that when I went to school. Anyway, last week I was in Kroger, and there was a bunch of kids in there, and I just happened to stop. You know, they were very friendly. I stopped them and I asked them, I said, could you all tell me what are the, what kind of colors, you know, are young people into today? Now, these are high school kids. This isn't elementary and junior high. These are high school kids. And they told me, at least, now they were speaking for their group that they were with, I think, or maybe for their age group. I don't know, but they told me that kids are into bright colors. And you would think that that would be like the age of kids I teach in Sunday school. They'd be into bright colors. Because now you see a lot of teenagers, gray, black, red. But I've been noticing ever since those kids told me, I've been noticing some young people, teenagers, wearing some bright colors. So anyway, I think that's why I picked out this scrap yarn the other day from my stash and made this. Now this would fit. This won't fit a teenager. But if you want to know if you're making anything geared to teenagers to sell, if you're in my area, they're into bright colors. So that was good to know. That was good to know. And let me tell you this real quick. That same day that I was in Kroger, I went in there and there was a lady looking at the kiwis. And I was not looking at the kiwi, but I stopped next to her to look at something else. And she tapped me on the shoulder. She said, "Could I ask you something?" And I said, "Sure." She said, "Look down here at these kiwis and tell me what you think about kiwis." I told her, "Well, I like kiwi, and I know that kiwi is good for you." She said, "Well, I know all that," but she says, "There's 2 different kinds of kiwis here, and I don't know which one is better for you." And I told her that I didn't know either. And somehow I got talking about God. Now, I don't know. I don't remember if she mentioned God or if I did. I'm always looking for a way to talk to people about the Lord. So it could have been me. I don't know. But whoever it was, that's all it took. And we got talking about the Lord. And she shared something with me. Now, I don't know her, but she shared something with me about her husband. But she did say that that morning when her and her husband were having breakfast, he told her that he felt like God had worked out whatever he was going through. Now, I don't know, their faith and all that. What I mean by that is I don't know if they're Baptist, Methodist, Presbyterian, whatever. I don't know. But I do know that she seemed to have some kind of love towards God, or she wouldn't have been talking to me about God. But we were talking, and when we were done, I told her my name, and I asked her for her name, and she told me, and I asked for her husband's name, and she told me, and I said I'd be praying for them. And I gave her a church card and invited her out to church. Next Sunday, we're having I forgot what it's called, but it will be after the morning service. Gonna have lots of food, and someone at the church is directing it wouldn't be called a bake-off, but like you make your dessert and you don't tell anyone which one is yours, but you'll have a number, and then there'll be a jar, and I guess if people like your dessert, they'll be putting your number in the jar. And I don't think there's a prize. Maybe, but I don't know. I had such a bad migraine during church last night when the lady that's directing this made that announcement. It was after the service, and I just couldn't pay attention. And I don't plan on doing that. I'm just not up to it. But anyway, I did, mention to the lady in Kroger, we'll be having special things coming up. So if you're not busy at your church and you want to come to visit, then here. And anyway, we had a nice talk about the Lord, and I felt so humbled, that she would feel like to share something with me about her husband dealing with something. I mean, she didn't even know me. And I told her, I said, I appreciate you feeling like you could share that, and I'll be praying. And I'm so glad that your husband felt this morning at breakfast like God had worked it out. I said, it just goes to show how much God cares for us. He does care. And he's able to turn any situation around. And I told her, we have to stay connected to God. We have to stay praying, reading our Bible, the same things I tell my Sunday school class all the time. We have to stay connected, plugged into God, because there's so much going on in this world. And we cannot make it without God. I know people think that they can, but they're deceived. They can't. Bible says, in Him, talking about God, in Him we live and move and have our being. Now, how much plainer is that? A simple sentence like that from the Word of God makes it so clear of how much we need Him. And I'm glad to know Him, and I have a holy fear of the Lord. The Bible talks about the fear of the Lord. It's not a fear like I'm trembling and I'm so afraid. It's a holy fear. It's a respect. That's what it's talking about. And I have that for God, that, oh, if I were to turn my back on God today, throw my hands up in the air and just say, God, I just feel like you're never going to come through with this problem with the car. I feel like you're never going to touch my body again and make me feel well enough to get things done or whatever. And then turn my back on God. I have that holy fear, that reverence or respect for Him, that if I were to do that, I don't know what God would allow to come into my life that would make me more troubled. And then what? I've turned my back on God. And so I'm sort of saying, well, God, I don't need you. I'm just going to handle things on my own. And God will say, okay. God will just step back and let the chips fall where they may. I mean, God is sovereign. You know, He can do that. Now, the Bible does say that God would never leave or forsake us, but if we turn our back on God, what do you expect? I mean, it's in your Bible. The children of Israel, they mumbled and they complained when God was providing for them. They mumbled and complained, and they had to wander around all those years because of that attitude. So we have to respect God. We have to trust Him. And there's people all around us that want to know about God. When I was talking with that lady, she said to me, look around in this grocery store. There's people all around us. And a lot of them, you know, you wonder, do they acknowledge God? Do they love God? Are there some that know nothing about God? Are there some that don't believe in God and don't care? We never know who's around us and what they're going through, but we have to be ready to be willing to talk about the Lord to whoever God puts in our path. There's an old song that says, you never mentioned Jesus to me. You saw me day by day, and you knew I was astray, yet you never mentioned Jesus to me. Think about it. Think about it. Well, I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to get in this Big Lots, a store that I've probably been, I don't know if I've been in Big Lots at all this year, because it's not my favorite store. I don't find it a bargain, but I do know that the mops are not much cheaper at Walmart. It may be a couple dollars cheaper here even. And this is more convenient because I just want to go in there and get that and then get back home. And I don't even know if I'll get to mop a floor today. I want to, but we'll see. It's a beautiful sunny day and there is a little breeze. So I'll talk to you later, and I hope that you like this hat. This yarn, those bright colors, is a variegated, but it's I don't know the name of it because it was in a ball. I had rolled it into a ball, and I've had it for a few years, so I didn't have the band to tell me the color, but I didn't control it. It is variegated. It looks controlled, but I didn't. Isn't that neat? So, okay, that's it. I'm gonna let you go. I'll talk to you later.